Michael Jackson's doctor is back in court in Los Angeles for the second day of a hearing which will decide if he'll stand trial for involuntary manslaughter over the pop star's death. Prosecutors have accused Dr. Conrad Murray of trying to hide evidence following the pop star's death. They claim he waited 20 minutes before calling an ambulance after the singer stopped breathing. Today, court will hear evidence from the singer's bodyguard who made this emergency call.
We have a gentleman here that needs help, and he's not breathing yet. He's not breathing, and we're trying to pump him, but he's not. He's not breathing, sir.
He's unconscious. He's not breathing.
Yes, he's not breathing, sir.
Okay, and he's not conscious either.
He's not conscious, sir.
Okay.
Well, let's bring in Louis Shapiro, who joins me live from outside the courthouse in LA. Mr. Shapiro, a lawyer there following this case. Good to talk to you. Just explain to us how important this hearing is. Why is it necessary to examine everything before deciding on a trial?
That's a great question. The preliminary hearing is really the beginning of the whole case. It's where the judge has to decide whether the charges should be true or not. In this case, the charge, of course, is involuntary manslaughter. They have to prove, the prosecution has to prove, that the doctor had a conscious disregard for Mr. Jackson's life. Usually preliminary hearings only take 2 hours. This one is taking 2 weeks. The reason is simple. People die all the time in front of their doctors, unfortunately, in hospitals. In this particular case, this doctor is being prosecuted for involuntary manslaughter. The prosecution's going to take a long time trying to persuade the judge, look, this is different than any other case. This doctor knew what he had to do. He didn't perform CPR like he should have, and he did show a conscious disregard by administering too many medications that he shouldn't have.
I mean, it's not necessarily an open and shut case that it will go to trial. I mean, the defense has a chance to avoid the next step, presumably, if they can persuade the judge with a compelling case.
That's true, but for purposes of a preliminary hearing, all the prosecution has to prove is that the charges might be true. That's a very, very low standard versus like at a trial where the prosecution has to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. 9 out of 10 preliminary hearings, even more, they do meet that burden. The defendant is held to answer on the charges. But then again, we do have a doctor here, so the DA knows that they're going to put every witness they can to meet that burden, even though it's a low one in this case.
I'm just going to quote for you and for our viewers some of the stuff that's been coming out of the hearing today. They've been examining a bodyguard or a security man for Mr. Jackson at the time, Alberto Alvarez, who talks about the situation in the room in the moments leading up to the administration of drugs. And he talks about Jackson's children coming into the room and they started crying. Conrad Murray said, "Get them out, don't let them see their father like this." I turned to the children, I said, "We'll take care of it. Please go outside." I escorted them outside the bedroom, through the foyer to the landing. And then he talks about seeing the files of drugs and so on. Louis Shapiro, it's going to be very, very emotive stuff. It's hard to imagine that the public are not going to be swayed by this, let alone the legal representatives inside the court. It's pretty strong stuff, isn't it?
Well, yes, they're trying to show 2 things with that evidence. Number one, they're trying to show that the doctor knew that there was a problem here and he didn't show the proper care that he should have at the time. They're trying to show, again, that conscious disregard for human life. Number 2, they're trying to show consciousness of guilt, that by the doctor trying to tell everyone, well, hold on, hiding certain things, allegedly telling people to wait outside so he can maybe put things away. These are the allegations, of course, they have to be proven. That's to show that he was conscious of his guilt. That's what the prosecution is trying to prove. That's why they're presenting this evidence.
Louis Shapiro, lawyer there following the case of Michael Jackson's doctor. Appreciate your input. Thank you very much.